full name?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Kamalpreet Kaur.
How may I address you?
You can call me Kamal.
Can I see your ID?
Yes, ma'am.
So in the first part of your speaking test, I would like to ask you some questions related to you. And do you think that handwriting is still important?
Yes, I believe that handwriting is still very important because there are still some crucial documents which people have to fill with their hands only. People have to sign such documents with their hands only. So that is the reason I believe that handwriting is still very important.
Do you think computers might one day replace handwriting?
No, I do not believe that computers will take place of handwriting in future, and the reason behind this is that there will be still some people in future who want to learn this skill, that is handwriting skill, in future also. And there will be still some crucial documents which have to fill with hands only in future also. So that is the reason I do not believe that the computer will replace handwriting in future.
Do you usually write by hands or write using a computer?
Most of the time, I give priority to write by my own hands only because my typing is not very good. So that is the reason I prefer to write by my own hands only.
When do children begin to write in your country?
In my country, India, children begin to write at age of 3 when they get admission in school. So at that time, they start writing by their own hands also.
Do you think handwriting will die in the future?
No, I do not believe that handwriting will die in future because, as I said earlier, that there will be still some important documents which people have to write by their own hands only. There will be still some important forms that people have to fill by their own hands only. So that is the reason I do not believe that handwriting will die in future.
Do you write letters?
Yes, I do write letters. It could be either formal letters or informal letters also. Yes, but yes, I do write letters also.
Do you think children should be taught to write in the same way as they were taught in the old days?
Yes, children should be taught how to write in a traditional way because like this way they could know they could know about handwriting skill, and they could also know about different traditional ways of writing. So that is the reason I believe that in order to enhance handwriting skill among children, parents or teachers should teach children about the traditional way of writing.
What is the most popular means of transportation in your hometown?
In my hometown, the renowned means of transportation is public transportation, that is public buses, because number of people opt for public buses only in order to mobilize or move from one place to another.
How often do you take buses?
I take buses for long distances only because for short distances I always prefer to drive my own vehicle. But on the other hand, for long distances I prefer to take public buses only.
Can you compare the advantages of trains and planes?
Yes, there are different advantages of both trains and planes. And the first advantage of plane is that nowadays different companies of aeroplanes provide different discounts to the customers so that everybody could avail the opportunity to travel by plane only. And the second advantage of traveling by plane is that it consumes less time. That is, people could travel from one place to another with saving their time. And there are also advantages of traveling by trains. The first advantage is that we can not only sit in trains, we could also sleep comfortably while traveling by trains. And the other advantage of traveling by train is that we could carry our luggage with us, and any amount of luggage we could carry while traveling by trains. So these are the advantages of trains also.
Hmm. Is driving to work popular in your country?
Yes, driving to work is very popular in my country, India. Although it depends upon person to person what type of vehicle they want to take while driving towards work. But yes, in my country, India, driving is very popular.
Do you think people will drive more in the future?
Yes, I believe that people will drive more in future because by driving their own vehicle, people could save their time and could save their privacy also at the same time. So that is the reason I believe that driving their own vehicle will increase in future.
Would you ride bikes to work in the future?
Yes, I would ride bike in future towards my work, and the reason behind this is that riding a bike is an eco-friendly way, and so that I could contribute towards decreasing the pollution level. So that is the reason I would prefer to drive a bike in future.
What will become the most popular means of transportation in India?
According to me, the most popular means of transportation in India, that is in future, could be a bus, because number of people are choosing a public transportation, that is public buses, in order to travel from one place to another, so that they could contribute towards decrease the pollution level of country India. So that is a reason people will choose buses, that is public buses in future.
Do you prefer public transportation or private transportation?
It depends upon where I'm going, because for short distances I prefer to take that is drive my own private vehicle. But on the other hand, if I have to travel a long distance, at that time I will opt for public transportation.
Is it convenient to take a bus or taxi in your city?
Yes, it is very convenient in my city that to take any kind of taxi or any kind of public transportation, because the local councils of my hometown have already provided different types of public transportation for the convenience of local people. So that is the reason it is very easy for people to take any kind of taxi or public transportation in my city.
Right. So now moving to the second part of your speaking test, I would like to give you a cue card. You will be given 1 minute to prepare the answer and you have to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. You do not need to worry about time. I will let you know when it will get over, and if you want to make some notes, you could. So the cue card is: describe a puzzle you have played. You should say what it is like, how easy or difficult it is, how long it takes you to solve it, and how you feel about it. Okay, you should start speaking now.
Well, nowadays people prefer to play different puzzle games according to their choice. But today I would like to talk about one particular puzzle game which I used to play. I still remember at that time I was 13 years old, and I used to play that game, and the name of that game is crossword game through a newspaper, because the Times of India newspaper always used to publish that game in the last page of their newspaper. Nowadays still that newspaper is publishing that game, and I still remember at that time I used to play that game, and it took approximately 15 to 20 minutes to play that game. But after some times, when I was playing that game for a longer period of time, it took approximately 5 to 10 minutes to play that game in order to solve the whole puzzle. And this is the game which helped me a lot to enhance my vocabulary, at the same time to stimulate my cognitive ability, because in that game I had to solve different words, that is I had to join different words in order to make a particular meaningful word. So I also still remember while playing that game, I also came to know that if I cut the game after solving that game, and I post to the company of that newspaper, then I could receive a first prize. So at that time, I still remember, after solving that game for approximately 10 minutes, I just cut that piece of paper from the newspaper, and I just posted that paper to the company of that newspaper. But unfortunately, I was not winner at that time. But still nowadays, in my mobile phone, I prefer to play that game only, because that game is not only a stress booster for me, but it also helps me to enhance my brain function also at the same time.
Right. So, would you like to recommend this game to the children in this era?
Yes, I would definitely would love to recommend this game to children in this present era, because while playing this game, children could enhance their vocabulary, and at the same time they could also enhance their brain functioning. So that is the reason I would love to recommend this game to children also.
Okay, now related to your cue card, I would like to ask you few more questions. So, why do parents let their children play puzzles?
Nowadays, a number of parents are just promoting their children or encouraging their children to play different puzzle games, and the reason behind this is that whenever children plays different types of puzzle games, it helps to enhance their cognitive function. It helps them to learn something while playing such games. So that is the reason different parents are encouraging their children to play different puzzle games.
What kind of puzzles improve people's intelligence level?
According to me, there are different puzzle games which help to improve the intelligence level of people, such as jigsaw game, crossword game, which I love to play, and even word games also.
Why are detective stories attractive to people?
The detective stories are very attractive to different people, and then the reason behind this is that the detective stories are full of different mysteries. So that is the reason people love to see or watch different types of detective stories.
Which do you think is better, a detective movie or its original novel?
According to me, I believe that original novel is very important and is more beneficial in comparison to watching or reading any detective story. And the reason behind this is that whenever we read any kind of novel, it helps to stimulate our brain function. It helps to enhance our memory function also at the same time. And whenever we read any kind of novel, it helps to enhance our vocabulary function. It helps to enhance our grammatical structure also. So that is the reason I believe that reading any kind of novel is more beneficial in comparison to watching any detective story.
Right. So this is the end of your speaking test.